This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Well, I just saw Vado on Math Hoffa's channel. So, shout out to Math Hoffa. So if you want to check out this interview for yourself, go ahead and go over to Math Hoffa TV. But he speaks about Cam'ron and the split between Cam'ron and him. So when the Dipset thing fell apart, because this is basically what happened, because I was at the Jim Jones video when Cam'ron dissed 50. Yes, when he got on the radio. When he called the radio station with 50 Cent was up at Angie Martinez and they started going at it about independently, they just started getting disrespectful. That's when the beef started between Cam'ron and 50. Juelz and Jim weren't with it. Jim was, on his ballin' streak and everything. Jim Jones and Juelz kind of pulled back from Cam. Cam'ron was dissing 50 on his own. And 50 Cent and all of them were dissing Cam. And even the betrayal came when Juelz and Jim went to a 50 show. Jim even went on the basement with 50. He was going his own way with Bird Gang. He even got his own label deal with Bird Gang at one point. So he felt like he was free of Dipset. Around this time, this is when J Mills, he signs to Lil Wayne, right? And J Mills and Vado were both part of, I think Warner Brother Entertainment in Harlem. And Vado wanted to get with Cam because they're both from Harlem. He wanted to, and it made sense. Vado's nice. He met Cam through a mutual friend, and Cam'ron took him under his wing. And they dropped some of Push It. That's one of my favorite videos for those two. I think it was called, was it Large Amounts? Vado Large Amounts? Vado Large Amounts. That was a solo. Large on the Streets. That's what it was called. Large on the Street. I love that song. I wanted to do that video, but he had already filmed it with the guys who produced it. But I love that song. Didnt, I think it produced that. Love that song. And Vado and Cam'ron were just taking over. They had speaking in tongues and everything. But he said Cam'ron liked him messing with him. He didn't like him doing, hanging out with other people and everything. So Vado was trying to spread his wings and hang out with other artists and everything. Cam'ron was like, nah, let's just keep what we got going. And he especially didn't like it when Vado got up with Juelz and Jim. I think he hung out with them in a club. He's like, yo, what are you doing? Because they had a little split. And I think something else happened with Vado in Harlem that Cam'ron didn't approve of. I'm not going to really talk about that, but something happened. And, Cam'ron, that was Cam'ron's excuse to have distance with Vado. But, he really just didn't like him messing with all these other people. Plus, they had this other... When Cam'ron tells the story, there was also, some... He said that Vado was getting tight with him for no reason. Oh, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And he's like, what are you talking about? Cam'ron said that Vado was being picky about certain stuff. They both have two versions of this story, okay? And also, he said there was some discrepancy because, Vado was going up to break a deal. I think it was Interscope or he had some major label. And then Cam'ron was trying to bring him up there. So it was conflicting meetings happening. And I think Cam'ron just kind of fell back. And then Khaled met Vado through Cam'ron on the radio once. I remember this because at this time, DJ Khaled thought he could rap too. He was going to become a rapper. And he started rapping on the air while they were up at the radio with Khaled. And Khaled took a liking to Vado. Vado's nice. And I don't think he knew the Cam'ron and Vado had split. Because Vado tells it that Cam'ron got back together with Juelz and them, and they weren't going to bring him into Dipset, so it kind of ended the whole UN thing that they had going, that unity. And then he said within 2 weeks, Khaled had just pulled up randomly in New York, told him to come out, and signed him. And he thought it was on at this point. What he didn't realize is that it wasn't on, because Ace Hood... He could have just looked at Ace Hood's career. You weren't going to get put on all those big records. I wish he had talked to me. I would have told him because I was around Khaled a lot before he got signed to Khaled. he put Ace Hood on everything, and it just didn't work. You know, like he put Ace Hood on his albums, on anthems. He made anthems for Ace Hood's albums, and Ace Hood was only selling like 20,000 the first week, 30,000 on Def Jam. And Ace Hood was kind of handed a career with no backstory, with no foundation. He just took a liking to Ace Hood because he came to the radio and said, yeah, you're going to be my artist, iced him up and everything. It just didn't work. So when he fell back from Ace Hood, he should have realized, like, this isn't a good way, because the only reason Ace Hood got hot again was on his own. He came with Hustle Hard, and then Khaled jumped right back on it, you know, on the Ace Hood train when he got Hustle Hard pumping in Florida, and everybody loved it, and he started getting shows. Khaled was like, yeah, we got to do this, and, you know, Ace Hood blew up again. That was Ace Hood's real rival, Hustle Hard, and he did that on his own. He said at that time he was getting, you know, losing his apartment, everything. He was out of money. Things dried up. Anyways, Vado's also down around this time. Right after this, Vado gets a record with Jeremiah, I think, and then that's basically it. After that, shortly after that, a couple years after, like in that midst of time, Khaled blew up on Snapchat and just kind of like forgot about everybody. He forgot about his whole label, We the Best. I think he had, what was his name? Something James or Jones, or he had Kent Jones. He had one rapper that he put out around that time and then forgot about him. He signed Vado, forgot about him. Some girl with blue hair, I forget her name. He signed her, forgot about her. Khaled's ruthless, bro. So it kind of left Vado just like out there for a while. He didn't even know if he was signed to We the Best anymore. And then he took control of his career and started putting mixtapes out again, but the whole Camron thing was over. I don't think Camron has any problems with him. I mean, you could listen to Camron talk about it on Flip the Script podcast. He did an episode there, talked about all that. But yeah, you know, Vado finally gave his version of what happened. You know, Camron just kind of fell back from it at one point because he felt like, you know, he wasn't just sticking to home team. He was messing with too many people. But interesting. I think Vado's a great artist, man. He's very talented. Anyways, go check that on Math Hoffa TV. This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. I'll check you guys in the next one.